What's good, family? Welcome to another episode of the MySpace Effect, Building Influence and Impact. I'm your host, Herschel Peters. Today is a good day because today marks episode number 20. Yeah, I done made it 20 episodes so far. Ain't it ironic how the 20th episode falls on a week of Thanksgiving? It's such a blessing. So today's conversation is going to be special as a result of that because, again, not just because it's Thanksgiving week, but more so because every leader understands the nature of the season in a degree that most typically don't. And it can hit different because sometimes people in holiday mode and some already didn't skip to Christmas. So today I want to deal with something that's a little bit much bigger than a holiday topic, but more so in the sense of something that will help every builder, every pastor perhaps, every entrepreneur, every creative, every visionary, something that they need to hear. And that is gratitude. Gratitude, not the cliche version, but more so from a leadership perspective, a leadership version, because ultimately at the end of the day, gratitude affects our capacity, our mindset, our emotional health, and our relationships, and our ability to really endure the season nobody really applauds. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Thinkful leadership, why gratitude is the shortest lived emotion. And I'm going to talk about the leadership's secret weapon. That's what we're going to deal with tonight. Gratitude. Thinkful leadership. Let's get it.
Came by anyway. Welcome to MySpace. Yeah. It's time to say thank you. Just want to
Thankful people are thinkful people. Ultimately meaning that gratitude isn't just a mood, it's a mindset. It's not something you feel, it's something one practices. And it's the result of being aware, mindful, and intentional. Gratitude begins where reflection begins. Sometimes we need to take time enough to just pause and think about what we have, who we've helped, how far we've come, what could have destroyed us but didn't, what you survived that you never told anybody about, those private victories. And once you do that, the more thankful one becomes. Gratitude is the fruit of intentional reflection. And in leadership, that's very critical because sometimes we have a tend to stop reflecting. And as a result of that, we'll only see what's wrong versus what's right. And that really requires reflection. In life, I've learned that when you're grateful, it grows. One of my principles in life that I've learned that I've adapted over time is that when you're grateful, it grows. Whatever you appreciate multiplies. Think about that. Gratitude multiplies progress. Gratitude multiplies clarity. Gratitude multiplies relationships. Gratitude multiplies influence. And lastly, gratitude multiplies joy. You look in Matthew 13:12, it says, "To him who has, more will be given." What am I saying? Basically what I'm saying is that when you're grateful for the small wins, you start seeing more wins. And when you're grateful for people who actually show up, you stop obsessing over people who walked out. Gratitudes grow what you honor, but complaining kills what you mishandle. I said something earlier, which is something I've learned. Gratitude is the shortest lived emotion of all. Gratitude is the shortest lived emotion of all. Here's some things that most leaders really don't talk about enough. because people forget fast. People can forget how you've helped them, what you've carried, what you've covered. I'm talking to leaders. What you've forgiven, what you financed, what you saved them from, what you prayed them through. People normalize consistency. They normalize your sacrifice. They normalize your excellence. But once something becomes normal, people stop being grateful for it. Leaders feel this the most. They do. Because people will celebrate you for a moment, then expect you to keep producing at that level forever. Oh, I know I'm talking good. Oh, yeah, they will. They'll do it without acknowledgement, without appreciation, without understanding. This is something I want to share. Here's a truth that every mature leader needs to grow into. You must grow into this. If your leadership relies on applause, you'll die in silence. After them applause, you go right on to the house, cut all them lights off, and sit in the chair and look like Alice in Wonderland. You will. That's if it relies on applause. If it relies on people's gratitude, you'll break when they forget. But if it relies on purpose, you will last. You will last. We live in a day and time now, and it's been like this throughout history. People's gratitudes fades fast. And as leaders, we have to learn how to allow our gratitude to outlast theirs. That is a must. That is a must. So one would ask, why do I as a leader have to stay grateful even when people don't? Well, I'm glad you asked. I know you're asking, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. This is the ones who are carrying a vision no one else is strong enough to hold. So I'm going to just give you some wisdom on this. Number one, gratitude protects your heart from bitterness. When you're given 100% and just to only receive 5%, bitterness tries to grow. And gratitude can kill it at the root. Number two, gratitude keeps you from resenting what you pray for. Some of the things draining us today were once things we asked God for. We have. And gratitude keeps our perspective clean. That's what it does. And that's so important because when it comes to different aspects of gratitude, this last point is that it keeps us reconnected to our why. It does. We didn't start because of applause. So we don't need to quit because of silence. Boy, that hit right there. That's hidden. That's hidden. Number 4, my last one. Gratitude turns pressure into purpose. Why? Because I get to lead. I get to build. I get to create. And as a result, that allows everything to be shifted. And that's not easy. But when we understand and change that perspective, it really does shift everything as a whole. So this is why it's important, even with this shift, to why leaders have to practice gratitude in great sacrificial seasons. When one takes a look back and reflect on what God has brought us through, every miracle we've forgotten is a miracle we're not thanking Him for. Just take a look around. Identify what's working, not just what's missing. See, a grateful leader sees progress others miss. One thing we have to do as leaders is we have to anchor our gratitude in God. We have to keep looking up to Him and not to people, because people will forget. People forget, but heaven remembers always. Yeah. I remember I was at one church years ago, and he was the pastor was saying something. It was years ago. He said, you know, what you do may not make news here on earth, but I got news for you. It make news in heaven. But I want you to remind you something that God told Cornelius. He said, because of your prayers and giving, it has risen a memorial before God. In other words, God sees what people don't say. Yeah. He sees it. Oh, this is good to me. I like this kind of talk. So as I get ready to close out this 20th episode, I want to remind leaders something on this Thanksgiving week, that gratitude is short-lived in people, but it must be long-lasting in the leader. Because gratitude is what keeps us grounded and keeps us growing and keeps us grace to lead people who forget how much we carry. Remember this. Get this into your brain. Let it get engrafted into your heart. Thankfulness is a feeling. Thinkfulness is a discipline. Great leaders practice both. Never forget that. So if this episode has blessed you, has challenged you, and helped you think differently, then I want you to share it with another leader who's carrying something heavy in this season. And as always, keep building, keep becoming, and keep creating the future God showed you. This is Herschel M. and this is the MySpace Effect. I'm out.